Hey guys, I brought out my trees. It looks like it's going to be smooth sailing from here, except one night it's going to get down to 36. So I'm going to have to bring one in, but today was a high of 82 and lots of sunshine, but lots of wind also. Thankfully it's evening, so the wind has died down a little bit. So I'm just going to go through everything. Here's my pink guava. This is new. I bought it Sunday, actually, from my local nursery, which is hard to believe, but they were selling patio plants, and I saw this thing. Now, when I first saw it, it was completely wilted. All the branches were sagging. You can see I cut off the top because it had died, and you can see this sort of wilting. But I just gave it some water and it's doing awesome. It was 20 bucks, which compared to my first guava I purchased this is a great deal, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, this is the pink guava. Don't know the variety, but that's that. Here's my papaya seedling. It is the one papaya I have, and it is small. It's a year old, but it hasn't grown much. This winter it stalled a lot, and the soil is a little compacted, so we'll get to that. But this is my peanut butter fruit, related to acerola or Barbados cherry. It is the bark is similar to a Barbados cherry, if you guys know Barbados cherry. Looks a lot like it. And the flowers look like Barbados cherry flowers, but they're yellow. Anyway, this tree is really happy right now. This is a fairly new branch, and there's new growth all over the place. Little thing there. Yeah, this thing grew really quick, so looking forward to this thing growing over the summer. Okay, down here are my two yellow Jaboticabas. Now, I don't remember the last time I recorded where these trees were at, but this one has grown pretty quickly for a plenia, and this one has suffered. It does have some new growth, and it's trying to push out even more around there, but it's just nothing like this one. I mean, there's hardly any burnt tips on this one. And keep in mind, I bought these, they were the same size, and now this one is like twice, 3 times as large. So could just be genetics or soil type, but the soil is the same, the root space is the same. I don't know. Okay, right behind it is this red Jaboticaba, and it is pretty happy. It has some new growth, relatively new growth, but it's just kind of holding on. I want to see how this grows up, and I have yet to see the classic bark peeling of plenias. I don't have any plenias right now that are old enough to show the characteristic, but I mean, you can see a little flakiness. Okay, here's a Eugenia calycina, my Savannah cherry, and it's a little bush right now. The trunk is a little thicker, kind of looks like my Jaboticaba bark. It's a little flaky, and it's really attractive leaves. I want to see, I hope this one grows as fast as my Suriname cherry, which I'll show you pretty soon. This is my Moringa, the superfood, and it's not exactly happy, but I gave it some better soil. You can see its little root thing sticking out. But these are fast growers from what I've heard. Okay, here's another little one, my jackfruit. It's not really changing much. It keeps falling over from the wind, but I think these two new leaves are new, and it's pushing a new one right there, so it'll be nice to see. Okay, let's come around. Right here is my Ponderosa Lemon. Let's get it to the light. There we go. So you can see that nice flower and a little lemon. There were a multitude of flowers earlier, but I pruned most of them off because I don't want to see this thing put all its energy into fruit and not grow new leaves. You can see there are some new leaves right here, so that's good to see. Okay, over here, let's come right here. It's a little wilting right now. Yeah, this one is a little dry. It's my loquat from seed. It is like 1.5 years old, and it just needs to acclimate right now. There's some sunburn, but it's a hardy tree. It'll make it. But you can see the root system is a little not exactly great right now from all that wind today. Just gonna water it a little bit. And then right here, this crazy looking thing is my lemon guava. And you can see all the new growth did not do well after moving it out, and there's a lot of sunburn. But I mean, over here, this looks good. But yeah, there's a lot of sunburn. I hope this thing maybe flowers pretty soon. I don't know. I would expect fruit in maybe 1 more year. But till then, it's just a waiting game. Okay, let's come back over this way. Okay, this is my Irenia umbratica, and the state of it was pretty bad last time I showed you guys, but you can see it did drop these leaves up here, but it is pushing new growth buds all along there after transplanting to something a little bigger. So hopefully, I'd like to transplant it again pretty soon because it's kind of taking up this space too. But I hope to see this thing come back this summer. And here's my coffee. Some weird leaf growth. It looks a little chlorotic. It could be from the fact that there's not much root space. This little pot. And just the change in climate and the fact that it was pretty cold, relatively cold in my house, like 69 in the basement where they're staying over winter. I'm gonna have to bring in probably when the weather gets cold in a few days. So right now I'm trying to get everything acclimated to being outside. Okay, over here's the Cherimoya, and I've had this guy for, I don't know, 2 years or so, something like that. And it's very small. I'm trying to keep it as small as possible because these things like to grow real tall. So I'm gonna try to get it to focus its energy on trunk and branches. And it looks like it's working. Okay, let's come over here. Here's my other last Plinia. I have the Sabra Jaboticaba. And this guy his trunk is a little thicker, I think. Just a little bit. You can see my finger. And it definitely has quite a bit of sunburn right here. Yeah. But I mean, if you look underneath, the leaves underneath, other leaves are doing fine. So this tree will probably end up shedding all this as it grows a little older. And we've got a little spider friend. Oh, and he's gone. Okay. Stepping back, this is my Sapodilla. It is a Silas Woods, so it's a dwarf, and it's very slow growing. Yeah, I've had it all fall and winter, and it's just now putting new growth right here, basically on all of these little areas. Hopefully it pushes out. See, that's looking good. And if I see flowers on this guy, I'm cutting them off. I don't want to. It's only got like 20 leaves, so I'm gonna give it some time before I let it hold try to hold fruit. So this is the red Malaysian Guava I've talked about, and I bought it for the same price as my pink guava. Look at the size. It's probably 9 inches, 8, 12 inches tall. This guy, when I bought him 3 years ago, it's about that tall. 20 bucks for this. And it's every year it's done this thing where it's put out a main, and then once the main, it'll start to slow down. You can see this thing doesn't have very much going. It'll put a new shoot out. This is 2 years old. This is 1 year old. You can see it goes all the way up. So I've been just pinching back those shoots, but if it puts out any more, I'm just gonna let it grow, because if it really wants to do that, I'm gonna let it. Okay. And right behind it is my cacao. It just dropped one of its new leaves, unfortunately, from all that wind. And I got a dragon fruit spine in my hand. Awesome. Let's not do that. Okay. So this is an understory tree, so it doesn't like very much wind nor sun, and so acclimating this thing is tricky. But honestly, after being outside for 2 days, yeah, there's a little roughness on that leaf. This new leaf looks healthy. Okay. This wind. Come on. Waiting for you. Come on. Okay. Maybe it's done. We're just gonna go with it. So yeah, this leaf is getting absolutely destroyed. But other than the new growth, these leaves look like they're doing all right. Being in partial shade after being inside all month. So, I mean, I just hope that this thing doesn't die on me, because I've heard it's very tricky to grow these things, especially in a colder climate. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, coming around, well, here's my Tamarind Seedling. This is its second year. And it dropped its leaves inside and is putting out new growth. A little bit of new growth. I don't expect this to fruit for years, but it's a nice little ornamental tree. Sort of looks like a locust tree. It's nice. Okay, here's my yellow dragon fruit seedling. And it's definitely not pretty, but I'm just letting it grow. I don't really have a trellis I can put it on, and I don't feel like making one, so I'm just gonna let it sprawl out till I can get something like a trellis for it. And this little mangled up thing is my Starfruit Seedling, and let's just say it's not enjoying the wind. But I haven't seen signs of, the new heat is really bringing a lot of wind. Anyway, yeah, it's not showing signs of sunburn, which is good, but it is definitely not enjoying the wind. Oh shoot. Yeah, this is the problem with having things in pots. They will fall and wreck everything. Ugh. So yeah, there. It's supposed to be calm in the evening. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, okay, yeah, that's the starfruit. Definitely not happy, but if this guy's gonna survive, he needs to grow a thicker trunk. And I know starfruits are very sensitive to winds. They hate it, basically. But I want this guy to grow a thicker trunk, so we're just gonna get him through it. It's got new growth, and new growth is important. That's a good sign. This is my South African baby pineapple. it hasn't grown in a year. It's really just been putting out side shoots, if I can find one. I'm not seeing any. I thought I saw one the other day, but it's just been, there's a little one down there. It's just been putting little babies out, and then not putting energy into growing itself. So it'd be nice to see this grow up a little bit more, because it's a really attractive kind of plant. Until then, it's just gonna have to, I don't know, I'll just baby it and see what happens. Okay, this is my Suriname cherry, and this is the one that came, it was originally only around that tall. That was the height. It's just a little seedling. Now it's doing phenomenal. It's pushed out a lot of branches. It's a really scraggly looking thing. And we got a little, oh, there he goes. Okay. Yeah, it's very fast growing. Definitely faster than Ponderosa. And from what I can tell, the Savannah cherry. But this is a variety with black fruit. I don't think it's a named cultivar, it's just a black variety. Which are apparently sweeter and tastier, so I'm looking forward to that. Maybe flowers this year, very unlikely, but that'd be awesome. Okay, I think last but not least, this is my root rot mandarin orange tree. The only citrus I've ever had success with is that Ponderosa Lemon over there. This thing is just, every year of the 2 years I've had it, it's dropped leaves. And I mean, over the winter it did give me one orange and then proceeded to drop most of its leaves and wilt. It's just had this chronic wilting. Not sure how it's gonna do, if it will grow again, because I don't think it's grown in a long time. If I see flowers on this guy like the sapodi, I'm not gonna let it hold fruit, at least this time, because it doesn't seem like it was very good for the tree. So anyway, over here are the two last plants. Well, actually there's one more, but there's not much to see. Anyway, this is, yeah, the Ponderosa, star cherry. This is one of my most prized trees. I've had it for, this is its, I think, 4th year here, and it's done awesome. There was one time it fell, this branch is snapped. So I'm trying to just help them to strengthen and not tear apart further. So I'll just leave that for a little while. But this is the first year I've seen this thing with flowers before it's outside. And it's got flowers all over. Those are flower buds, older flower. If you come around, there's some new growth and flower buds. There's a flower bud. There's a flower bud. Flower buds, flower buds. Oh, this doesn't have a flower in it. That does. So yeah, this thing is really happy. And it's only the second day it's been outside. And surprisingly, usually every year I bring it outside, it shows signs of like wilting. When it comes outside, it will wilt. But this year it did not wilt at all, which is really great to see. Twist this so you can see all of it. It's a really attractive tree, but it's a slow grower. It really takes its time, but the fruit is awesome. I've harvested probably in total 10 fruits, and they're definitely an acquired taste. They're just very acidic, but they have an awesome tropical apricot mango flavor, passion fruit. Just if you imagine yellow tropical fruit, that's what it's like. Okay, and last but not least, my very, very sunburnt Barbados cherry, or acerola. This guy is just completely wrecked. This is what happens when it grows new leaves in the winter. So yeah, once it comes outside, it's not acclimated at all. There's a few old leaves, it seems, that are more mature, I suppose. They're able to handle it better. But yeah, you can see the leaves it dropped over the winter. A lot of leaves dropped. But it's just good mulch. I really hope this thing comes back to fruit. It looks like maybe right there. If it can focus. Oh, and I guess not. Well, it looks like these were flower buds. Now it's just mulch. Yeah, this thing, it likes to flower summer, spring, and then it likes to flower during the fall. Now the fall flowers don't end up giving anything because it gets too cold, then all of them drop off. But during the summer is when the fruit comes. And last year I did not have any fruit because I pruned it too hard and it put all its energy to growing new leaves. And I'm worried this thing's gonna drop all these leaves and have to replace all of them. So I don't know how to acclimate this thing any better, but it's dramatic, so it'll come back. But yeah, we'll take a look at my pomegranate. This guy is dormant, but it should be coming out pretty soon. Little new growth there. And it survived 4 inches of snow and 25 degrees. So I don't know if that's normal for pomegranate, but that's what mine did, and it's gotten through it. If you scratch the bark, you can see it's green. So, I mean, this guy survived. Hopefully it flowers soon, and maybe stops looking like a dead tree. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'll update you later and have more videos soon. Thank you for watching.